Good morning, everyone. I'm back. So I mixed up a lot of paint. I had some colors that were missing, and I'm all ready to pour. But I'd like to do a little one. Just one in a little bit brighter colors. Something I did yesterday. Let's see. That's this one. You know, you can see the silicone on top. See that? And someone asked me about it. They said, you know, when I do Yupo, do I need to varnish the top? Well, not if you're going to make jewelry. If you're going to cut this out with a punch or with a brother scan and cut, all you have to do is just slightly take off the silicone, and then you pour resin on top of it, and it's pretty thick, so you won't have any problems of it, you know, getting dents or craters or whatever. So it's not really necessary. I think if you just took a sponge and just did one wipe over it, it would be okay, you know, with a little dish soap, and you'd be good to go. But if you want to put this in a frame, and this would look really cool in a frame because you can make it pretty big. If you I think you call it a mat. You take that out, make a mat about, let's say, 3 inches around, and then you'd have a beautiful thing to frame. And I think then I would take off all of the silicone like I showed with the canvas. So do it 3 times, let it dry for a week or 2, and then just, you know, varnish it once. And you could put that in a frame very easily, and it would be pretty. So, lots of people wanting my attention today. But first off, I want to thank everyone on the list, the sponsors of my channel. I'm very happy that people are sponsoring so that I can make lots of paintings. Because all the money that I get from the sponsors go into canvas and paint. That's what I usually do. You know, I save it up, and then in one big order, I order a lot of canvases and paints and all that stuff that I need. So thank you all very much. I've updated it until this morning around 10 o'clock. We just went back to winter time here in Holland. So the clock went 1 hour, I don't even know what it went. Oh, I think it went back, yeah. It went 1 hour back. So right now I have 11:05 on my watch, but it's 10:05. So that's nice and early. And right now, let's get on with this pour. So, zooming you back out. I watched a couple of videos this morning on YouTube about the new iPad Pro, the 10-inch, and I might be buying one of those for downstairs in the studio. It has the ability to video in 4K. That is pretty amazing for a tablet. So I watched a couple of those videos. I wasn't too impressed though, because I think it's the sharpness is done with some sort of a filter. I could see some jaggedy edges there, but I'll watch some more before I definitely do that. The thing is that the iPad Pro I have the big one, the huge one, and it doesn't fit in any of those stands for iPads. That's the downside of having a big iPad Pro. So I got a 20 by 20, and I have a 30 by 40, this one, and I'm gonna pour both. First the little one, and like I said, got all the colors ready. Oh, that's an empty one. Don't want that one. But I still have a lot of gold and bronze left from yesterday. I have the deep turquoises ready, and I made up some new green because I want to do something that resembles this one, but then in small. I'll show at the end of the video, I'll show you the 40 by 40. It's not completely dry yet, but you can see how beautiful it is right now. There's a lot of gold coming through the paint. I love that. So I think I'll do For the background, I'm going to do 1 cup, just pour it all over, and that's going to be those oranges and yellows and golds. So this is the still orange from yesterday, testing if it's not too thick. Could use a little water. I didn't put any lids on it yesterday, so that's why it probably got a little thicker. But if you're going to use the paint the next day and your humidity isn't too dry, you can leave them without a lid. Now that's perfect. And yellow, where's my yellow? Here is my yellow. See, it's stuck on the side from yesterday. And that's pretty good, but let's just give it a little squirt. Okay, yellow, yellow. Then I'm looking for my burnt sienna. Let's see, yeah, that's a little thick. Some colors thicken up a little faster than another does, so you want to check them all before you start pouring again. Yeah, that's okay. Maybe a little bit. And as I've been saying through, I don't know, I think about hundreds of videos, it's all about the consistency of the paint, the thickness. If you're not getting the results you really want, you have to look at the thickness of your paint. And I see I don't have the light yellow. And the thing is, that's not a problem because maybe you would like to see me mix 1 color. So what I do is just take the Winsor & Newton. I put some in a cup. Let's put in a little bit more. Now that's how much I put in a cup. Here you can see how much it is. It's about 1/4 cup of paint. Then I take the pouring medium and I just eyeball it. Ooh, there's a little bit on the canvas there. So that's about how much pouring medium. Then I get the gloss medium and I just eyeball that too. And before I add water, I want this to be really, really smooth. And this is a Winsor & Newton Galleria. And I know a lot of people have bought the Amsterdam acrylics because I used that in the first, I don't know, I think 100 videos. And there's nothing wrong with that paint, I promise you. There's nothing wrong with it. But what I do find when I switched, that these colors are just a little bit more vibrant than the Amsterdam acrylics. That's the whole thing. So then you can add water and you just keep on stirring because you don't want any lumps. You just want it pretty smooth. And that goes pretty fast with this paint. But if you're doing all the colors that I'm doing today, you know, doing all those colors will take you about an hour, hour and a half. And that's the good thing about the Vallejo. The Vallejo paint with Floetrol, you know, I'm ready in 10 minutes. I can pour. But with this paint, it takes a while. So after I've done these two, I'm going to go and switch back to Vallejo. If you do a lot of Vallejo, you get really a little bit fed up with doing this, the Winsor & Newton. Because, like I said, you know, I can be ready in about 10 minutes and be ready to pour, starting from scratch. And that's not the case when you're using this paint. It just takes so long. So that's usually why I do a whole series of paintings with this paint, because then you're sort of used to you know, sitting, watching some TV show or something and just mixing up your paint. And when you go back to Vallejo, you're thinking, oh, that is so good. you know, so much less time needed to get the paint right. Now, I'm almost there. I do see a little bit of chunkiness. What you want to see is that it comes off your stick, you know, in one continuous flow. And if you have honey, good fresh honey, you know what I'm talking about. That's how it should flow off your stick. Now, let's see. I can still see little chunkies. So then you add a tiny bit of water, not too much. I can do that because my cup is about, I think, 3/4 full at the moment. So let's see now. Yeah, that's perfect. So that's what I do. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you got the sides. So I do the sides extra and the bottom. And then, of course, you want to add some silicone, which I'm going to add right now. There it is. Now it's all ready. So now we have all the yellows, we have the orange, we have the burnt sienna, I got my golds, I got my copper, and we're ready to go. So, and another question, I was gonna do I'm gonna do a video later on with the questions I got on the email, asking me about, you know, transparency of the paints, and if you have to make sure that you have both and all that stuff. I'm going to address that in a separate video. In the beginning, what you have to realize is that when I started, for me, this stuff was new also. You know, it was all very new. Are you hearing the coffee machine downstairs? I'll close the door. So that's closed. For me, it was all new too, and I was just, you know, experimenting a lot and seeing what worked, and, you know, gradually you just move to different sort of paints, different sort of mediums, and even though you see me using something, and I'm all really going like, oh, it's great, it's beautiful, it's this or that, don't stop experimenting. The minute you stop experimenting, that's when you get all, you know, you do all the same stuff all the time. That's not interesting. You want to keep it new and fresh and surprise yourself. And as you can see what I'm doing now, I'm just putting stuff in here. There's no order, there's no plan. I'm just thinking, you know, that's what I want in it. So I'm going to bounce it a little. That all the paint comes out. Ooh, that's pretty. Now I'm gonna tilt it a little bit, and then I'm gonna torch it straight away. Oops, yep. This one's got stuck. Oh no, I got it. Now I'm holding it up really high so that the warmth can come down. And then all of a sudden you see stuff happening because it's warming up the paint. See that? And you can just gradually see them grow. And then I take it around. And from the side, that's it. Now, because I've done so much torching, and I did that because I really liked the turquoise coming out. I gotta be careful because there's a lot of copper coming out. Can you see all the copper? Yeah, you can. Gotta watch out that we don't overdo the tilting, and that we do stretch the cells. Whoops, and now I'm gonna stop because I wanna scrape up some of this stuff to make it easier to go over the corner. There we go. And I'm gonna fix the corners right away and turn it around a little. And to tell you the truth, I just love this one. I was going to pour the blues on now, but I'm not going to do that. Look at that. Is that pretty? That is so pretty. Man, that turquoise goes with everything. Now, the only thing I have a problem with is some of these cells are deteriorating, and that's because of the metallics in there. And you cannot avoid that because you don't get to choose where that happens. So that is a thing that you have to live with. Either, I know a lot of people will say, what are you talking about? That's beautiful. But, you know, it has to appeal to you. You have to be the person that really, really loves it. So I'm just looking at it for a bit. Let me give it a little bit of torch because I see some bubbles. And that's when I do this. So it's not to bring out cells, it's just absolutely only to do pop the little bubbles. Now, if you're having a lot of bubbles, I think I don't even have to make a video because I'm addressing everything I got in the mail. If you're having a lot of bubbles, you can do a couple of things. Number one, you can let your paint sit for a couple of hours, maybe even put lids on them and let them sit for a day and use them the next day. If you're using a spray silicone, which I did, you know, way back in the beginning, I used spray silicone that is used for creaky doors or putting it in a chain or something like that. You know the stuff I mean. You buy it at a car shop or a Home Depot or something like that, but it's in a spray can and you spray it. Well, that stuff causes bubbles. So what you want to do is put it in a little bottle like this. In this one that's just water, but you can spray it in here and spray it for about a little less than half full. But you have to be careful, don't put a cap on it. So you spray it half full, then you put it away, then after half an hour you do like this. You just shake it. And you'll see it all bubbling up and coming up again. So if you have a cap on it, it'll squirt out of the top. You have to be careful about that. You best to do it outside. So, and then every hour you come by this little bottle, you give it a little shake. After a couple of days, all that bubbly stuff will be out of it, and then you can use it. Better yet is to go and buy some treadmill lubricant, because that is 100% silicone. And you got to watch out that it says 100% silicone. They'll have different sorts of treadmill lubricant. And if you want to avoid everything, then I'd go for the dimethicone, because that stuff, you know, it's just body safe and all that stuff, and it doesn't catch on fire, nothing like that. So I'm giving it another little tap with my little torch here, just to burst the little bubbles. And I'm looking over it, I'm letting the light shine on it so that I can see if I have any more bubbles, and I don't. So that's it. Now I'll get you guys down. See, it is pretty. There you go. I do like it, but like I said, over here you can see the cells popping and sort of pulling apart. So what you can do if you don't like this, and I'm sure if you hang this, it'll be gorgeous, it will. But if you don't like it, you can come in with another cup, and you can just pour some sort of a beautiful ribbon on it. I'm sure it will add to the painting. I'm not going to be doing that because I don't, it doesn't bother me that much here. Because when you're looking at a painting, you'll be further away than the camera is now from this painting. Because when it hangs on a wall, you'll be, I don't know, if you look at it, I think about 6 feet from it, and it will not bother you at all. What I am going to do is going to add just a little bit of shine. And this time I'm gonna choose the, this is called Glitter Extra Fine. It's a really small bottle. I don't even know where I got it. It says something like Hobby Home. Oh no, I searched for it. They didn't have it anymore. So when you buy glitter, I'm telling you, you can use it for years and years and years, really, because it goes a long way. Now, a little bit in the corner here, and over here where the cells are gone, and up here. That's all I'm going to put on it. That's all it needs. You know, you don't want to have that glitter smack in your face when you, maybe I'm not saying that's not pretty, because I'm sure that if you do an overload of glitter, that can be beautiful too. But with this, because there is a lot of metallics in the paint, I think just a little bit will just add to it, and overdoing it will take away from the metallics in the pour. So that's why I choose to just dust a little bit on there. I just want, you know, when I varnish it, I want it to grab the light when you pass by, so that it just pulls your attention and you can really enjoy the painting. Well, that's it for this one. I'm going to keep it like this. I'm going to put it away. I still have all my colors here, and we're going to pour another one in this color, but then I'm gonna do a 30 by 40. So this is beautiful. I love it. Thanks for watching. Love you all to pieces, and liebe euch alle, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.